didn't happen, I think. Yeah, it's working now. So yesterday what we did is we just went to Visual Studio and then we published it. And here, if you see, we have created a folder under BKP. Inside my test app, we have all our published files. Can you see? These are the published files. So at the end of the publication, what it does is it will keep all the DLLs and whatever other things. If you see www root, you will easily see there something will be available just like this. Okay, CSS, font, images, all these things. So if you go to CSS, all the cascading file will be there, style sheet file, font, images, and all that. And if you go to other folders, everywhere you will see respective things as well. Some will be here, some will be here, but overall it is called a package. Okay, package means published version of your files. Anything you are asking, Manish? Not able to hear you, Manish. Now now I'm able to hear. Yeah, speak. Multiple project, when you say, it is like one web API project, one MVC project, something like that, which is related each other. Then you have to take a downtime. Imagine you tell your customer that next 2 hours we have downtime. Then that time nobody will access the application during that downtime, because currently we are doing manual deployment. Na? So there is something called CI/CD. There is something called manual deployment. So in this course we have manual deployment, not the continuous integration and continuous deployment. So in manual deployment, what happens? Whether you are deploying in Azure, whether you are deploying in on-premises, you have to inform your customer ki 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever, time consumption, this much time will be downtime. So they will not access the application during that. You will stop the application basically. Stop means both the application will stop. Web API also and your MVC application also, right? So that nobody can access. Some people, what they do, they will do one policy that in a separate application, they will have one HTML page just. That HTML page will display something like site is under construction, please try again later, right? So they will redirect that domain to that particular HTML site. That means user didn't get any trouble. They got to know that, okay, site is under construction. Now you have to deploy. Manual deployment I am talking about. For auto deployment, no need for all these things. So in manual deployment, imagine you said that 1 hour is downtime. So during that 1 hour, you are going to finish both the deployment, application as well as your web API. So in such case, first you should deploy the web API, because web API should be up and running. Then only your application will be able to access it. Otherwise, what will happen during deployment also, if you want to test a small round whether working or not, your API might not be ready. So first database, then web API, and then application. That will be the sequence. Okay. Dependency, just you have to find out which is dependent upon whom. Since our MVC application is dependent upon web API, so first web API, then MVC application. Like that you can plan. But process is same for both web API or web application. Process is same. Right click it, build it. Right click it, publish it. Once published, it will ask the folder. Give the folder path, then click on publish, so that all packages will be created and put it into that folder. Once that folder is ready, this is the one which I am showing you. Now you have to start the process. Now you ask yourself whether it is on-premises deployment or it is Azure deployment. If it is on-premises deployment, you have to go to that computer. Which computer? Where you are going to deploy. Imagine this is your server. Now you went to that server either through remote access, or if it is available in your company itself, you are directly going and sitting in that computer and doing the work. totally up to you. So imagine that server has been opened in front of you. Then you open the IIS. In IIS, there are two things. One is called application pool, one is called site. Understand carefully what is this application pool and what is this site. So application pool means the bridge between your user, your user request and virtual directory. Now you will ask me, what is this virtual directory? Virtual directory is the physical folder where your package is available. Imagine in local computer, you already prepared the package in D drive, E drive, wherever. And in another computer, you have to deploy it. So at least copy this package, take it in pen drive or somewhere, or if you have FTP, transfer through FTP, so that that folder should be available in that computer. Very simple, right? In that computer also, whether D drive, C drive, E drive, wherever you might have made the standard in your company, you put it there. So I assume this folder is the local. I copied it, put it in pen drive, then I took it to my target computer. In that target computer, I went to again D drive or E drive or somewhere else in that server. Because these are all manual deployment, I'm talking again. Manually deploying it, taking a downtime. But CI/CD is even better than this, for your information. So it is just like one button click and pipeline started to release. And most benefit there is in CI/CD, even people are using the application, your deployment is also going parallel. And when the deployment will be completed, your Azure will switch from the existing version to the current version. Only thing is they may get some fluctuation or something, or they may refresh and start using. Even session will not expire also. But in your manual deployment, if user is using already, you didn't give the notice saying that downtime or anything, chances that people are using it in live. Now you suddenly started manual deployment. So what will happen? DLL will be physically replaced now. That time session will expire. So for that, Azure is not going to help you anything, even you are deploying in Azure also or on premises, because it's a manual deployment process we are learning in this course. But if you are going for CI/CD, then even better than this. User will not suffer. You need not to give even downtime. You tell them that why use it, no problem. 10:30 you are in application already. 10:31 somebody deployed. So when you will click another menu, you are going to next page or somewhere. Now new version has been redirected. New version ke according that you will get the data. No problem at all. Even session will not expire, I will tell you. Okay. So that is the beauty of CI/CD. But here in this course, we don't have CI/CD. Continuous integration, continuous deployment. That is the full form. But okay, at least if somebody doesn't know CI/CD, if you have not done Azure course or anything, at least you should deploy. Many companies deploy like this also, what I am showing you now. No problem. Okay. So I copied that folder. I went to target computer. In target computer, imagine I have a folder called ABC, and there I paste it, for example. Okay. I could have connected there itself, but just for your confidence level, I'm copying from some other place and pasting in some other place, assuming that copying from local computer and pasting it in my target server. That means only that package you have to copy paste, nothing else. Okay. Since single computer only I am showing, now I can connect to this folder also, or I can connect to this folder also, because after all one computer only I am using for local also and target server also. Chalo, now we will go to the deployment process. So what is the application pool? It is like a bridge between the virtual directory. So who is virtual directory now? This guy. This guy is our virtual directory. Okay, this one. Or if you are thinking ABC is the target computer one, this one. This is called virtual directory. So application pool is the bridge between physical virtual directory where the files are present and the user's request. Now from application pool only it is understanding if I request came to this server, no problem. But in this server chances there 5 applications are deployed, 10 applications are deployed, who knows. So this application pool is going to decide to which application this request will be diverted to. Okay. So user types www.abcd.com, press enter in his browser. But that comes to DNS, domain name server mapping. There it gets IP address of that computer. Now IP address based request will go to server because server has one public IP address. Based on that the request will hit to the server. Now server is having a gatekeeper. Who? Now application pool. Now application pool will say, Acha, you came here as a request. Very good. You give me that request. From the request itself, it will understand which particular port number it is redirecting to. I will show you where is the port number to be given. So based on each application, imagine your computer is having 5 applications, 5 different port number will be there. So application pool will decide if request came and suddenly in this computer there are 5 different application hosted, now which port number I have to redirect to. Now if yes, then what is the home page, default page, like that it will understand. So let's come to IIS. First to create one application pool, right click here, add application pool. Acha, you have lot of application pool already created before, you can see any one of this you can use also, no problem. But if you see extremely right side column, it will show you how many application has been connected with this application pool. This guy default app pool, 2 application has been connected. New site, 1 application has been connected. Site number 1 application. So these are all already existing sites. Chance is there I might have shown to others batch student or so, right? So we are here for another application to host. Acha. At the beginning, when you prepared this server, very first application you hosted, that application will have a port number called 80 port, which is called default site. If you go to default site binding, you will see 80 port has been, port number 80 has been binded. This is default. The moment you install IIS, it will give you without deployment. If you go there, you can see under Explore, some HTML page they used to give basically. It's not really a site, but just on HTML page. So that will be default. That means these 3, my site 1, my site 2, my site 3, these are all perhaps in 3 different batches I might have shown this. Now we are going to create one more here, either my site 4 or some other name, whatever it is. So very first project will be 80 port. They advise if your server should contain only 1 application, then no need to create this site. Go to default site, copy paste your code, package there over in that folder. No need to do anything else. But currently I assume that in this application server, there are 4 applications already deployed. If that is the case, then I have to create a new site. So right click on site and add website. But did we create the application pool? No. So see how I am creating the application pool. So give a name, okay. Though without creating application pool also you can do, because a lot of application pool are there. One application pool can handle 2-3 project also if necessary, okay, as long as version is same. So I will create a new one. Suppose I will say my site 4, should I say my site 4, or different name I will give, my new site, my new site 1, my new site 1. So here you will see 2 versions. One is called version 2, one is called version 4. Up to .NET 3.5 V2 is classic pipeline mode, that is called version 2, and version 4 integrated pipeline mode. So here you select version 4 because you are in the advanced version. So here also you select integrated pipeline mode. I will tell you what is the difference. When we are going for version 1 up to .NET 3.5 it will be supporting, and technically behavior will be one worker process in one request. That means your processor and IIS cannot manage to run multiple worker processes at the same time. What do you mean by worker process? Imagine you have two buttons in your browser, right? That async and await came na. After that only multiple worker process started initiating. Up to 3.5 framework, async and awaited functionality was not there. So that time only one worker process will run at a time. Task might be multiple, but one worker process. Imagine you click a button, inside that button only suppose 3 work is there, parallelly can happen. But while clicking one button, you cannot click another button. That was there up to 3.5. But current technology, yes, you can if you are using async and awaited functionality. In one button click, you are already calling one function, and you are saying, achalo, let it run in the background. I will click another button and I will do another work also possible. Okay. So if you want multiple worker process at the same time under same processor under IIS, if IIS want you to support for this, then you make sure here it should be version 4 and here it should be integrated pipeline mode. If it is classic pipeline mode, whether you are selecting advanced version or older version, it will behave like single worker process under the single request. No multiple work process at the same time. This concept last 5 minutes whatever I explained, this concept is called web garden. Remember, when you will be little experienced, 10 years, 15 years, this kind of question people will ask you, what is web garden? When did it come? How does it behave? That kind of things may come into picture. So what should I choose now? Integrated pipeline mode along with advanced version, because we are in .NET Core. But matter is not .NET Core or .NET Framework. .NET Framework 3.5 is the last for classic pipeline mode. So for that only version 2 will support. Is that clear? So I selected version 4. That means perhaps .NET 4 or later. 4.x, .NET Core 3.1, 3.0, .NET Core 5, even .NET 6. All will be included in this. Now say OK. That means advanced version pipeline mode, you created one application pool. Now that application pool you have to connect with a new site. So what to do? Right click here, add website and create a new website. How to create? Just give a name. Imagine you have already registered a domain, then you can give that domain name. If not, just give a new name. I will say it as my site 4, or same thing I will give what I gave for application pool name. But again, not necessarily it has to be same name, it can be different name also. My application pool name might be ABC and my site name might be XYZ also, no problem. So as per my sequence, should I say my site 4, and here I will select the application pool name as my new site 1. By default 80 port, but can I give 80 port now? No, because already 80 port is used here. If you say OK, it will show you error saying that 80 port has been used by some other application, physical default port. You have to give some other port number. Imagine my port number, I will give something Utpatang like 7593, anything. Don't give 2-digit number, because lot of 2-digit port numbers are for special purpose. Okay, some special meaning is there. Like 80 I said default application site. Like that, some port number are reserved for some purpose. Now I give any 4-digit number here. Okay, then I will give the physical path of the virtual directory. So where is our virtual directory? BKP folder also there, ABC folder also there. Whichever you want to select it. Imagine I want to ABC, then select it from ABC. Okay, now say OK. That means you selected a name of the site, you selected the application pool, you selected the physical path which is called virtual directory path, you typed one port number and host name. Host name, you have to spend some money for this. I will tell you what is that. Imagine you want to access this application outside world also, not in only your local area network, right? Not only local area network but also outside. Then there is something called public IP address. You have to install, you have to configure public IP address in that computer where you are hosting this. And once you install public IP address, in this IP address list that will come. Currently the one which is coming, that is the default IP address, which is your computer IP address, but that is not the one. If I will select it also, it is as equal as your local host only. Okay, because I have not configured IP address, public IP address. Sometimes you might have seen Airtel, Reliance, those people are giving advertisement saying that, hey, if you are taking connection, one public IP address will give you free of cost. Otherwise its cost is 7,000 rupees. Like that they give advertisement. You have seen that. So that means if you want to prepare your laptop itself as a server, then that public IP you have to configure, so that once you configure, then it will come here. Now I will not go with this because our local computer is local computer. We are hosting it in local only, right? Host name will be that name what you have reserved. There is something called domain registration, right? Go to Google, type domain registration or website domain registration, like that. Lot of third party will come. They will say 200 rupees, 300 rupees, 500 rupees. They will reserve the domain. Domain means not related to hosting. Before hosting itself, you have to register a domain. Imagine your company name is abc.com, ABC Limited. Then you can say my website name should be abc.com. So that abc.com has to be reserved. Why? Because who knows, that might have taken by somebody, right? Here blindly if you say www.abcd.com, it is not connected with outside world, no? It is only in your local computer now, right? Since you don't have any public IP, so your computer is not connected with IP, whole world. So if you say okay also, it will take it, but it will not work outside the world. So giving host name or not giving host name, same as long as you are hosting in local. Once you hosted in local, you can access in the same computer as well as in the local area network. Means whichever computer is connected with that computer directly. But wide area network, metropolitan network, internet, in those area it is not accessible as long as you are not mapping with the public IP address, right? So I'm leaving this host name, but I will tell you, you have to go to Google and type registering domain or registering host name. If you type that, lot of third party will come. GoDaddy.com is one of them, that is having good name in India. You can go there, very cheap cost they are taking, 300, 400 rupees, hardly 500 rupees. They will give one registration of the domain. And that domain, imagine you register today, they may give you like up to 1 year this 500 rupees. After 1 year you have to renew it, like that they may give you that. You have to follow the policies. But yeah, if you are typing that here after registration of that domain, then through this public IP address, whatever you select here, this domain name will be exposed to outside world. That means user will type this domain name, host name, www.abcd.com, but internally it will be understood this IP address, whatever you will select here. That is the understanding here. Okay, because user will not remember that IP address, 192.168 and so on and so forth. So they will remember this name, and that request will convert it to this IP address, which is configured in the current computer where you are hosting. Make sense? Now 7593, this is our port number. So let's say okay. That means our site has been hosted, named as my site 4, right? So just right click and go to manage it. Under manage, click on the browse. So this browse why I am doing is, once I hosted, it is my duty na ki to test one round in the server itself, ki inside server if it is not working, what it will work outside the world, right? So just right click and browse once and make sure that it is really working. If it is working, then if it is really configured with the public IP address with some host name, then you have to go outside and then access that host name. So let me copy paste. Currently our host name is not present, right? So it will be hosted through localhost. So if you see here, it will give you the accessibility through something called localhost with some IP address. Where is that? This ribbon is disturbing us. So can you see 7593? So this is that host name with the IP address and port number I was talking about. So this will be replaced with your host name basically if you have registered a domain. So up to local area network, whichever computer is directly connected with my laptop, I can put it either in the current computer or any computer which is under local area network of this one, because we have hosted it in local host, not in the public domain. But if you do two more things additional, one is domain registration and one is public IP address configuration. If you do these two things, those are all not your duty. In fact, if when we are working in company, there will be some network professionals, they will do those things, right? IIS things you will do, but configuring in the computer IP addresses and all, troubleshooting, then making it public IP instead of private IP, that is not your duty. Your networking professional will do that. Then DNS mapping will be there, which host name will be mapped with what IP address and all that. Then whole world can access that afterwards. But currently I will try to access at least in the local area network. So what I will do, I will go here. Imagine I close this. This is for testing purpose. Maybe I will go to some other browser, suppose. Okay, I will go to some other browser and here I will try to access that. Let's see. Right? So once you hosted, you can close your IIS also, you can close your testing site also, everything in that server, come outside that server. If it is local host hosting, then you can access from some other computer in the local area network also. And if it is under public IP, then you can access whole world anywhere else. That is called internet, exposing to internet instead of local area network, LAN. Okay. Somebody is asking something. Hanumant, you are asking something? Yeah, go ahead. Four digit anything. 2-digit are specially reserved from some special purposes. So you use 4-digit anything. In 4-digit, none of the number is reserved for any special purpose. So you can go ahead any number, but go for 4-digit. That is the standard. 80 port is the default port because in real time nobody hosts two application in the single server, na? So the moment you host first application, if you don't give also, it will take 80 only. Default port number. Okay. But if you have already one application hosted in that computer, then 80 port has been already used. So you have to go for some other port number. Okay. Anybody else? Manish, you are asking something? Except 80, except 80, anything you give, but don't give 2-digit because most of 2-digit numbers are reserved for some special purpose. Yes. 4-digit is the best, people give in industry. Two port number should not be same in the same computer where you are hosting. Okay. So because host name will be same now for everything, so port number should be different. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ha. Ha. Port number will not come there because it will be hosted against 80 port, right? So if you have already reserved the domain and you are defining that server dedicated for that domain, then already understood that 80 port will be taken. So no need to write the port number. Simply say xyz.com. It will automatically understand port number. So nobody hosts multiple domains in the same server. So port number is not required. It will take automatically 80 in the backend, and in front end you need not to give anything. It will understand. Okay. Arun, you have any question? Client system you are saying to whom? Where user is sitting and accessing the website, or which one you are talking about? Arey, no, you are wrongly understanding. Assume that in your local computer, you are a developer, right? So you are working for some company. That company has given one laptop to you or not? This BKP folder is that company laptop, you understand that way. You are developing it and you are testing it in the local area, okay? In your development team only. Now your server is not that laptop now where you are sitting and working. So just to take that feelings that we copied from the local laptop to server, I copied from here to there. Okay. Just to take that feelings because I cannot have two laptop to show you, right? That's why. Otherwise there is nothing client server here. Both are server only, you understand it that way. Okay. Again you have to deploy. You have to deploy. Because your local computer is in at your home, which is not even having internet, chance is there. So again you have to deploy it. Then only in server it will be reflected. Correct. Because deployment is already there, na. You just need to direct the. Sometimes only one DLL also you can copy and paste it there. If you sure that only in one class file or somewhere I have changed it. Okay. It is just like copy paste. That is for Windows application basically, not for web application. If you want to deploy Windows application, then you have to take that exe instead of DLL. It is there. It is there. If you have installed SSL certificate, then it will come there. Just a minute, I'll show you. So there is something called SSL certificate. So you have to, get that. You have to spend some money and you have to get that SSL certificate. Then you can do that. If you go here, go to um, binding. Can you see here? Type is HTTP only. If you go to edit, here you will see currently it is disabled, right? Because SSL certification not there. If you install SSL certification in your computer, then it will have a drop down here. You can go for HTTPS as well. Sorry. Port number again same, you can go. There is no different port number for HTTPS. Whichever site is already deployed, only you want to say that please allow HTTPS as well. So there you can select HTTPS, allow HTTPS. That means allow HTTPS will also allow HTTP. Okay. HTTP is non-secure. I mean HTTPS is secure. Like suppose you are sending one email from button click, right? If it is going through HTTP, then if some illegal picture or anything you are attaching also, it will not complain, it will take it. But if it is HTTPS, they will have some policy in place. They will say that, okay, if it is following all the security policy, then only will make it success. Similarly, somebody is doing some SQL injection or hacking approach. If it is HTTP, then chances there easily they can hack it. If it is HTTPS, they put one extra layer for security, saying that if all good, then only I will allow this request, otherwise not. Right? So that is the basic difference. Okay. Now you hosted it in the IIS, right? Another approach is hosting the same thing, package is same only Azure. So what I will do, another 3 to 4 minutes I will take and I will complete this. So go to your portal, portal.azure.com. Alright, so what it is saying, I don't know, something it is confirming, I think. Same IP address only, same email address only, I'm just logging in. Alright, now here what you have to do is, you have to go to host it. So under this, you will see something called web apps. This is app services. App services, web apps, both are same. Now under this, you have to go to create app service. Okay, free trial resource group. Yesterday we created a resource group. Now it is available. Just I'm selecting it. Then instance. What is the name of the site you want? Okay, suppose you want to say my test site, some Utpatang name number I will give, let's see. Okay, that should not be already available. I said my test site 65 .azure website.net or something. Okay, so you can copy paste that somewhere just for your future reference. So Azure is giving with hosting deployment. That means it will be publicly accessible entire world. So the domain name by default is azurewebsite.net, because you are not spending money, right? It is free of cost. So they say their advertisement azurewebsite.net. So your full website name will be mytestsite65.azurewebsite.net. Okay. Now select a runtime stack. We are doing it in .NET 6. So you select .NET 6, Windows Server, select Windows Server. East of US, yesterday we have reserved, let it be that same region. And whatever default it is giving, let's take it, because we are not ready to spend any extra money now. So process only you have to know. So let's review it, see what happens. It is reviewing and saying that these are the default tier, price tier and everything. So click on create. That means you are preparing one server now. This is software as a service, SaaS, SaaS, software as a service. When you go to virtual machine, that is called infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Okay. There are two services, but currently one has come in Azure, that is called serverless. When you go to Azure course, you will be learning those things. There is something called function app, microservices. So those are all under serverless. But currently we are going software as a service. So we are not creating a computer. Already somewhere computer is there. We are just hiring it, you can say. Some part of that memory and all we are hiring for our purpose. So it will take some time as usual. Like yesterday we created database server, today we are creating application server. That is called app services. Give proper time, let it create. When it will tell that all done, then you have to deploy. I assume that you have already deployed the database, and that database connection string you have already copy pasted in your application, and then you created the package, and then you are coming to Azure. Like that sequence should be. So your deployment of the server is completed. It's not the application deployment. This message, some people will be misdirected. Okay, so this is your server deployment completed. Means in your East Asia or East US region, they created one small space for you, which is for free of cost. That's it. They have not done anything else. Now go to home. Under home, you will see just now you created this guy, my test site 65. If you click that, it will give you what will be your application URL at the end of the day. So can I see URL is this? Just copy this. Okay. Keep it. That means our hosted site will be available in this. Now hosting has not done, but URL is already ready. If I will access this, what will happen? It will say no hosted application found. So it is time to host. So come here again to home, and if you have 2-3 app services, like you said, one for web API, one for MVC, chance is there. If you go to app services, it will show you both of them. Currently it is showing one. Process is same, guys. For web API also same process only. You have to create one more web app, and under that you have to host it. See how I am hosting it. So first I have to go to that app service, and I have to click on something called advanced tool. Then you click on go. Little extra time I took today, but we will finish it. Tuesday class, my plan is couple of topics are there for October batch. Okay, I will welcome October batch on Tuesday. That day I will hold it for the September batch, and again Thursday we will meet all of us. But Tuesday class, that second group which is having some couple of topics that I want. But yes, if anybody from previous batch also want to join, most welcome, you can join also. So I came to this Kudu services. There is something called Kudu services. Okay, for hosting you come to Kudu services. The moment you click on go, it will take you there. Now click on the CMD, that means command prompt. It will show you both Windows as well as command prompt of the MS-DOS. MS-DOS command prompt can you see here below, and Windows folder structure it will show above. Click on site, click on www root. Okay, now restore it to little smaller window and go to your own virtual directory, whichever it is. Go to that virtual directory. Assume that in target computer in ABC folder you have this folder. So just select all and drag it there. Okay, select all and drag it there. Whatever packages, 77 files are available in the package. Now it will take some time and it will post it there. You can see right hand side top corner, it will show you how much percentage of deployment done. So since they are not charging anything, that's why for their advertisement purpose they say that your domain should be our name. But if you are going for a new domain, then they will charge you. Okay, so this whole name, it could have been only this.com instead of this additional domain name. So, but okay, process we have to understand. Who cares about domain name? But here itself, in the Azure portal itself, if you search domain, it will give you the option to create a domain also, and you can map that, but chargeable. Okay, now this is complete, 100% it shows complete. Now let's minimize this and try to access this. Up to your free membership available. I mean, once membership expired, then it will be expired. Microsoft membership, yes. So have a look. Now this is not local area network, because this is proper host domain. So only name is Azure, azurewebsite.net, because of free of cost. Otherwise, this process what we did, it should be really actual application. So let's copy this. I'm just putting that in the chat window. Even you people can access it also. I just put in the chat window. You can access it, try accessing. If you click that link, whether it is accessing same site. So that means it is a global host. That means not just local host. Because Azure, it is giving us free of cost some 1 month membership or so. So up to that period, it will be accessible. Once that period is over, then it will say the credential is invalid. Do you want to upgrade? This kind of question it will ask, and they will do their business. Please call this in order to upgrade your domain, etc. Okay. Yeah, it should. So database deployment you saw, how to get the connection string out of database you saw, then how to change that, and don't forget to change the connection string once you deployed the database. Otherwise, your local area network connection string will go along with the database, along with the application. So change that in the application, then create the new package, and that package you have to put it in the Azure or in IIS, whatever it is, on premises deployment or Azure deployment. Based on that, you have to follow.